Goenka, first, do you find that the farm sector now, the farmers, they're suddenly much more in the spotlight before and even post-elections now? What do you see as the possible reasons for this?
For inviting me, Vikram. Ram Ram to you and Ram Ram to my co-panelists and all the viewers who are watching me right now. I think this is a long pending issue which should have been addressed decades back. And loan waiver, even if it is not good in the long term, it is a necessary evil which has to be done in the short term. And I really don't know who will say that this is the last time the loan waiver will be given. But having said so, we never question when incentives are given or grants are given or set-offs are given or, tariff rebates are being given to large industries when they are set up. So any industry needs a push. It requires stimulus. And I think this is the right time when this waiver has come in. I would rather say that in place of doing it in the piecemeal as a political gain, every time then there is an election, politicians, the parliament, the assemblies together should come together and decide what is the way forward. And once for all, either come out with a policy which will help the farmers or let this whimsicks go on. The basic problem is we have more than 15.7 crores of cultivable hectares of land. But how many KVKs do we have? Not even 731 KVKs. So what is the ratio of educated farmers are we pushing down? And we are not addressing the issue in the wholesome or holistic way. Vikram, I think we'll have to today discuss about, is it right to give subsidy to the fertilizer company or should we create a mechanism like GST, where a DBT has been given for subsidy to the farmer, who in turn passes on to the FPO where he purchases fertilizer, so that actual subsidy has been consumed by the farmers. So these kind of radical changes have to be discussed today.
Is it really true that, you can't restrict it to that extent when it comes to farm loans, because that's addressing one part of a problem. But one point coming through in a couple of reports, Mr. Goenka, reports by NABARD and the likes, is that the marginal farmers are not making the cut for banks in any case, the banks that give out loans in the first place. Following this waiver trend, banks do not want to give out small loans at all. So the loans that are waived generally go to those farmers who have already high credibility in paying back the loan. So how do loan waivers even make sense? Because you were speaking for it, so I'm just asking this.
What you said is on the paper, but actually if you ask me, few NABARD officers whom I talked or the other bank senior professional, they said this loan is a secured loan because anyway the government is going to repay to us. Otherwise, when they go out, we have seen big businessmen, some have flown out of the country, they never pay back. So it is not that only farmers are the people who ditch the listing. Rather, farmers are a guarantee where some government will pay back the money to the bank. But I would like to point 2 points here, which is very important, pertinent. Is the lab to land been practiced in India properly? Does all the inventions and all the research which is done in the labs, they do reach the farmer? Answer is no. We don't push them, neither the agriculture officers, nor the extension officers, nor the KVK take efforts to push that lab things to this. And secondly, what is the cost, logistic cost of farm to fork? Once a grain is produced in the farm, till it goes to the mouth, do we have sufficient number of storages, cold storages, logistic? Unfortunately, till 1998, nobody thought on building a road corridor or a Gram Sadak Yojana. And only after 2014, the push on the connectivity, where the lab to land reforms will go there, mechanization will go there, seeds will go there, input nutrition will go there, and vice versa, the farm produce will come out. So we will have to now think about, do we subsidize or waive off all the costs only on the farm or put in the stimulus like, post-harvest technology? How do we increase the inputs, the seed inputs? Do we have a policy where we can push the required seed and micro soil nutritions? Do we also have, use of the geospatial technology? Now, we are one of the pioneers. We have a fantastic system in the ISRO and other ways where we can use geospatial technology to forecast the weather and the climate to the farmer so that he can use it in the advantage. So this all have to be discussed, and this cannot be addressed by a single state. I would urge through your channel to the larger political system that they should all come together and once for all decide what will be our policy for use of technology, whether it is lab to land or whether it is farm to fork.
Mr. Goenka, do you agree? Because many of these farm loan waivers, they tend to throw budgets at the center and the state out of whack because often they have to reach out to the RBI to bail them out as well. In those kind of situations, at this point in time, like you pointed out, we need a larger fix. Like you also said, the government will eventually pay, and that's how the banks are looking at it when they give out these loans. But clearly, someone is paying, and it is clearly affecting our economy. You'd have to concede that.
No, Vikram, I know that your audience is largely corporate who looks after the industry, and they may not like what I'm going to tell right now. But the way, any industry has been pushed by creating soft loan, soft interest-free loans, tariff reduction, grants, subsidies, free land, some stimulus has to be given. And as I said, we'll have to put in some alternate. Why not bring this KVK, Farmer Producer Organization, FPO, as self-help groups together under the extension officer or the agriculture officer and create a network like GST with Boo, Aadhaar and the DBT, whereby you don't give this subsidies to the large corporations, but you pass on these points to the farmer who can only utilize this while he's buying that particular input, whether it is seed, whether it is fertilizer, whether it is mechanization against his land. So it is geographically tagged, it is tagged to the shops which are available there, thereby making sure that this subsidy reaches the last person. That will save enormous pressure on the budget. Two, if we have been pumping thousands of crore rupees in IITs and other colleges just to create a viable educated force, why not push in KVK and decide that, how much is the hectares of land we should have per KV? We cannot have just 737 KVKs for such a big cultivable land. So what we have to do is think it holistically. And I think this is not an individual state which can think it. This has to be thought at the national level once for all.
Mr. Goenka, do you think it's going to go beyond political expediency anytime soon?
See, unfortunately, you have to live with the reality that politics will impact everybody, and especially if there is a large chunk of the population, which is also the real voter. I don't know how many of your corporate viewers actually go and vote on the day of voting, but it's, this compulsion will be there. But I'm trying to bring your attention once again out of this compulsion is that have we done enough on the policy side for the farmers and the way the subsidies are being circulated or other push have been circulated? My answer
Goenka, that these loan waivers are being offered, that we have not done enough.
No, loan waivers are knee-jerk reactions.
Exactly.
As I said, they may not be long-term good, but this is a necessary evil which we have to live with as a society. You don't throw your old parents out of the house to take care of them.